Good news is, hey, I'm not going deaf. You know, when you meet someone new, the first thing they want to know is what you do for a living. Fire! So back to fire! Fire! What's up, guys? What is up? Welcome back. Welcome back to another video. Radrover Rad here. Alright, I'm going to take mostly the streets just because I don't know if they cut the grass out here or not. I'm just wearing my shorts on a lovely 80-degree day, and it feels good actually, very low humidity. Casetas are still around. It won't be for long. Alright. Okay. Our brakes sound pretty good today. I'm gonna go. Headed to the clubhouse. I had a chance to ride my bike yesterday, but I had a hearing exam. Not a hearing as in a legal hearing, but a medical hearing. My ears. Went to go see the ear doctor. Told him about my tinnitus, how it's kind of spreading. It's in my right ear, but it's spreading into my left ear. And I was telling him I'm a little concerned that it's concerned that I might be losing my hearing. So did a few tests on me, and turns out no, my hearing's fine. I just have tinnitus and that ringing. It's just annoying. So the ringing in my ear is something I just have to live with. There's no cure for tinnitus or tinnitus. I don't know. I say tinnitus. So the ringing in my ear is something I'm just going to have to live with. This car behind me, I don't know if they're making a right turn or something. So, yep. Just have to deal with it. Oh yeah, it's a nice day. Ooh, it's a nice cool breeze. Oh, look at that. Look at all that. Yeah, they're clearing. They're clearing. They left some of the bigger trees, but I wonder how long before they have to cut down the bigger trees. They're clearing the way. So, good news is, hey, I'm not going deaf. I thought I might be going deaf. You know, I was all worried because I went to the dentist. I need a few crowns. I have a cracked molar. You know, the most expensive medical bill I have so far is the dentist. Still have to go back to get 2 crowns. I can't afford to lose any more teeth. Went to the eye doctor. Turns out I'm at risk of glaucoma. So I go to the hearing doctor, and yeah, my hearing's good. Perfect, actually, despite having tinnitus. Despite having tinnitus, my hearing is fine, which is good news. I could use a little bit of good news. Getting old sucks. or getting older, I should say. Yeah, once you hit that threshold of, at least for men, 35, you peaked out. You pretty much peaked out physically for most males. That's why when you look at your life insurance rates, your term life insurance, it starts getting expensive exponentially after 35. You start getting muscle atrophy. In other words, you lose muscle mass from that point. You probably lose some other stuff. Erectile dysfunction. You know, career-wise, financial-wise, you hit your peak as well during that time. It just kind of goes downhill from there. Now, I'm not saying that you're going to die or it's the end of the world. I'm just kind of giving you my experience. So, and kind of brings me to my other thing I want to talk about. I've been watching some other channels out there talking about retirement. They're mostly about how to retire young. You know, again, popular subject. But I don't see there's not a lot of channels out there, probably because when you retire, there's not really much to talk about, if anything at all, when you do retire. But what do you do when you retire? How do you pass the time? How do you make your money last longer with all the inflation going on in the world? You know, you kind of get into financial advice almost. That's probably another reason why you don't see a lot of channels. You have to talk about money. There's a lot of scammers out there with their YouTube channels. A lot of scamming going on YouTube. But yeah, what do you do in retirement? What do you do after you're retired? How do you cope with that? Because a lot of your self-worth is tied around work or how you make your living. You know, when you meet someone new, the first thing they want to know is what you do for a living. If it's a woman, they want to also know how much money you make. You know, what's your potential worth as a possible mate. I'm talking about mainly the man's perspective. Woman's perspective, totally different. They seem to have a timeline of, you know, their timeline is limited to their youth or their beauty, their sex appeal, and reproductive ability, in my opinion. You know, maybe I'm wrong, but men, you know, there's pretty much a really good set timeline. You know, 35 is that number. Anyway, is when you get into you've hit your prime. Most likely that's the point in your life where you hit the most potential income that you'll ever get. Physical your physical abilities and your potential as a mate to the opposite sex. I'm not saying that's like the number, but typically that's the point where it starts changing. Things change on you. You'll notice things. So I've been watching this channel. They talk about FIRE, which stands for Financial Independence Retire Early. FIRE, F-I-R-E. Or basically you get fired from your job, or you fire yourself from the job. they talk a lot, you know, a lot of people want to work their way to retirement, but nobody talks about what happens when you retire. And I suspect because it's a letdown, it's a disappointment. Because again, a lot of your self-worth is tied up to how you produce income, for men anyway, what you do for a living. You know, opposite sex, the female, that's one of their major considerations for even interacting with men. But I want to talk about my case. I'll talk about my experience a little bit. Did I retire early? Not on purpose. I just couldn't find employment anymore that, you know, satisfies my needs, so I just stopped looking. And then got my wife to just do all the work from this point on. That's why I ride the electric bike every day. And it keeps me healthy. It gets me good blood flow. I get to ride around. Pop my ears. My ears are popping. Hopefully it'll help me with my potential glaucoma risk. I also did a trial run of a pretend hike. I walked, I should say. I don't hike anywhere. But I walked like 6.4 miles. It took me 2 hours. My ankle was sore. My groin area was sore. I can't imagine if I walked like 8 hours, try to walk 20, 25 miles in one day, how sore I would be the next day. I wouldn't be able to walk at all. But I made some quick recovery time. So that's just the start for me. That's just the beginning. So I got to work on my physical training, physical conditioning for walking. My shins were sore, so I gotta train myself. I gotta do some physical training for that. Maybe even do some jogging. So riding a bike, I noticed that the walking, the running, most likely will impact my joints more than riding a bike. That's why I like riding the bike. And plus, not only that, but not only that, but I get there faster on a bike, you know, especially electric bike. Too bad they don't have electric walkers or an exoskeleton, you know, some kind of powered electric endoskeleton or exoskeleton that you can use for walking, but that's kind of dumb, isn't it? Anyways, so yeah, made a video on that. Check it out if you have a chance. So back to fire. So I found it interesting. Supposedly there's a Reddit group. I'm a little wary of like these internet stuff, Reddit groups, Facebook stuff, even YouTube, because there's a lot of social manipulation going on. A lot of manipulation going on when it comes to the internet. I'm very skeptical about things when I see it on the internet. News, videos, very skeptical. Because what goes on the internet, or the rumors that go around, sometimes doesn't match up with the reality. So a lot of social engineering going on, but anyways. So retire early. I think there's not much videos about retiring early because it's not very interesting. A lot of people don't think about it, don't want to think about it, and what do you do when you retire early? I think a lot of it also has to do because a lot of people don't retire early. Although recently there's been a lot of people like not going back to work, which I think is because they got a lot of stimulus money, didn't pay their rent, and they got unemployment money, so they're not hurting. Probably move back with their parents or live with their parents. And I'm talking about people who are in their 30s, you know, people who should be in their prime, living off of stimulus money and living with their parents, or living off their parents too. But there is one benefit if you can retire early. I really doubt you can like retire early. I don't think people on purpose retire early. I think what happens is people can't find a job that pays well enough to even go work at all. It might be just cheaper. Ironically, it might be just cheaper to not work than to work at a low-paying job. So if you do happen to find yourself unemployed and not wanting to go to work at a very young age, and you happen to be married and your wife is still with you, if you're in that situation, some of the benefits is if you have family, if you have kids, you get to raise your kids. You get to spend some more time with your children, like teaching them, right? Teaching them, because I know my wife doesn't do a very good job. Oh, look at those ducks. They're out here early. So yeah, you spend more time with your children. That's like the most of my time that's spent out here. Early retirement. Anyways, please like, share, comment. I'll talk a little bit more about this on my ride back. All right. Bye-bye, everybody. Bye-bye.